Former U.S. President Donald Trump has been found guilty on all 34 charges in his hush money trial.
We didn't do a thing wrong. I'm a very innocent man, and it's okay. I'm fighting for our country. I'm fighting for our Constitution. Our whole country is being rigged right now.
Trump has become the first American president to be convicted of a felony in U.S. history. The 12-person jury convicted Trump of falsifying business documents in connection with a hush money payment made to an adult actress before the 2016 election. CBC's Alex Panetta was inside the courtroom when that verdict was read. Alex, that was a seat that so many journalists would have liked to have had. Describe for us what the atmosphere was like in there.
It was an extraordinary moment. Just if you'll permit me a bit of show and tell first. I mean, this pass here gets you around the courthouse. This little card here, they give out to 4 international journalists every single day from different news organizations outside the United States. And those international news organizations share their notes. It's called a press pool. And I was one of the 4 people in the foreign press pool today, and allowed me to witness a moment of in American political history. And I thought that, frankly, that window had closed on today. At around 4:15, the judge informed the courtroom, Judge Merchan told the court that he was about to excuse everyone for the day, that the jurors were going to be sent home at 4:30. Left the courtroom, came back a few minutes later and announced something that had people gasping in the courtroom, in the audience, saying, "We have a verdict." Nobody expected it at the end of today. A few minutes later, the jury enters into that courtroom. They walk past Donald Trump, who's sitting in the defendant's box in front. Not a single one makes eye contact with him, which is not a great sign if you're the defendant, if no one's willing to look at you. They walk right to the jury box, and it took about 3 minutes to make Donald Trump a convicted felon 34 times. The jury foreman, wearing a casual blue sweater, middle-aged man, was asked about count after count, and he basically repeated guilty, guilty, guilty 34 times. Jury walks back out of the court, files past Trump, again not making any eye contact. As they left, Trump didn't react at all. I mean, the parties have been warned not to make any noise during the verdict. He did not. He sat there stone-faced. A few minutes later, he left the courthouse with his son Eric, gave him a vigorous handshake, one of these arm-pulling handshakes, and they walked out together into uncharted political territory. This country has never seen anything like it, and it's anyone's guess where the chips will land.
Indeed. We have now heard from Donald Trump, but what are you hearing in terms of reaction on the ground?
Yeah, so one thing's interesting is both political parties, both leading presidential candidates are already fundraising off this event. Joe Biden very subtly, Donald Trump, describing himself as a victim. But what's interesting is there's one message in common between the two parties, and that is that this election is going to be decided by the voters, by the American people, more than 100 million people later this year who will vote in the presidential campaign, and it won't be decided in that courtroom. Now, it's easier said than proven, because we'll see whether it affects public opinion polls in any ways. We've seen, preliminary hypothetical surveys over the last few weeks suggesting a guilty verdict here could swing the election. I'll believe it when I see it. What I will predict with some confidence is that Biden's going to deal with this issue. The president's going to deal with this issue very carefully. He doesn't want to go out and gloat about another man's conviction, certainly not when his own Justice Department prosecuted him several other times. What I think will happen is outside groups, not the Biden campaign itself, but super PACs, Biden-aligned PACs, which don't have an official connection to the Biden campaign, will repeat the following words into every American voter's mind over the next few months. Convicted felon Donald Trump, convicted felon Donald Trump, convicted felon Donald Trump. That's not going to come from Biden. It's going to come from other people working the brass rings on his behalf.
Alex Panetta in New York, thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.